Welcome to this no fluff guide to vibe coding. I'm going to teach you how to prototype, deploy, and user test your production-ready application. So if this is something you're interested in as a designer or a maybe product manager, this is for complete beginners. So if you are interested, stay with me and I promise you will learn something. Thank you. Today's episode is about setting up cursor rules. We will discuss user rules, memories, and project rules. The purpose of setting it up very early on is to set yourself up for success when it comes to vibe coding. So user rules are a global level setting. You're always on personal instruction that cursor follows in every single project. Memories are project level memory or a rule, which is auto-saved. Facts from past chats, so the AI remembers the context and stops asking you for clarification. The last rule is the project rule, which is a project level setup, again, like memories. Those are the guidelines that keep the AI and also your teammates aligned for one project only. So what user rules actually are? These are global and they are always on. They're applied to every single chat, edit, and project. These are your personal preferences, style of communication, coding conventions you want the AI to follow, and cursor injects it at the top of every single prompt. Overrides nothing, so they stuck with project rules. They act as a baseline. They're project-specific rules, add or refine without conflict, so they will all work together. They are awesome for consistency, saves you from retyping the same instruction, and stops AI personality drift across sessions. So how do we set these rules up, and what are the examples? So a few examples for user rules could be, and these are the ones that I use, which is a critical one. Always create a comprehensive to-do list using the to-do write tool before starting any development task. So this rule applies to every single project that I work on. The other one is the communication style. So be concise and focused, proactively explain decisions, ask clarifying questions, provide progress updates by updating to-do status visibility. There's obviously way more rules that I have, which I'm going to show you now how we can set them all up. You'll get all the links in the description below to this documentation, which explains in more detail how and why you would use user rules. But all you have to do here, and just follow my guidance, I do have 5 user rules. You click on each of the rules and you just copy the content of it. So this one is a very critical one, which helps the cursor to always use the to-do list whenever I ask it to perform a task. So once you copy it, by clicking on this button here, we go back to cursor, and user rules are in the settings page. So you click on the gear icon here at the top, navigate to rules and memories, and we find the user rule section, which is over here, and we add a new rule. You can have as many as you want. The best practice for this to work is to have multiple rules and not just copy and paste all the rules in one kind of a section. So I'm just going to copy and paste the content from that GitHub repository, which you'll get access to. So this is the first one, and just hit done. So every time I'm going to ask cursor to perform a task for me, it is going to respect that rule, no matter the project I am working on. So if we go back to GitHub and scroll down to the next rule, which is the communication and progress tracking, we click again to copy, go back to cursor, add a new rule, paste, done, saved. So we currently have 2 rules. And I would normally do that just once in my cursor instance. But what memories actually allow you to do is auto-save key details, decisions, and file paths for the current project only. You are in total control what you want to save, what you don't want to save. They are automatically injected into the future prompt, which will work with the user rule in combination, which is pretty awesome. They do boost relevance, so the AI is not hallucinating as often. And what is awesome, and how I use actually memories, is to reinforce user rules and project rules. So a few examples when we talk about memories could be something like this. Critical, always use ShadCN UI components over native HTML elements. All colors must be defined in global.css using semantic naming. Always use lucid React icons with consistent sizing and semantic naming. Import only the specific icons needed to optimize bundle size. So again, a link is going to be provided in the description below to this document. You can read about how to set up memories, why would you set them up, add them in bulk. You can do that. So I'm going to just copy all the 7 memories that I have. So the first one is about the framework standards. The second one is about ShadCN UI. Then there's a memory about using a design system standards, code quality, how to develop new components using icons, and performance standards. And you can add as many memories as you want. So I'm going to copy all of these. I'm going to show you the quickest way. Memories are set up in the settings page again. So if you click on the gear icon, and if you were to go to rules and memories, memories are going to be shown here. I'm going to click on show. So you see there's no memories currently. So all I'm going to do now, and this should work perfectly, I am going to ask Cursor to create for me all of the 7 memories here. And I'm going to paste the content from GitHub, and we will see if it works. It says that it's updating the memory, and it is creating the memories as well. So it should do that 7 times. And as you can see here, it is just adding all the memories for us, which is pretty incredible, if you ask me. So also, remember, memories are stored per project. If you were to start a new project, so if you start a new Next.js project, you have to set your memories up again if you want to use the same memories. The last type of rules that we have in Cursor are project rules. Only one project level guidelines. It's not a global setting. Every teammate gets the same AI instructions. So if you have a team working on the same project, they use the same rules. They can be very oriented when it comes to technology, what kind of frameworks and versions are being used, naming conventions, and what is the file structure. It extends user rules, acts as the local layer. Cursor merges both sets when prompting the AI, meaning that project rules will merge with memory and user rules, so they all work together very well. It's file-based, so it's very easy to share across teams and new projects as well. And it should really evolve with the project itself, because the project keeps changing, you're adding new features. You should consider adding new project rules when that happens. So what are the examples for project rules? It is folder naming conventions that you want to use. It is accessibility and UX best practices, comments and documentation. So how do you want to document your changes, design tokens, and the technology stack. So again, a link in the description below. I'm going to guide you through the project rules that I'm going to be using in our Next.js 15 boilerplate application that we have set up in episode number 1. If you haven't seen it, have a watch. So I'm going to be setting up code health rules, new component rules, meaning when the new component is created by the LLM, what I would like the LLM to do, the general default documentation about Next.js 15, then the project itself, and styling and theming rules. So it is going to be a little bit of a kind of a code heavy documentation, so just don't get intimidated. But as an example, I'm going to show you here file size and complexity limits as well. It is important for the new components to not take too many lines of code. The LLMs, application like Figma Make, Firebase Studio, they tend to add way too many lines of code. So you want to minimize that. And if it is a complicated component, it should really be split into separate components. So this is where I would define that, how I want the LLM to write code, how to organize the patterns, and so on. Start copying text. So I'm just going to click on the button copy raw file here. So I'm just going to copy this, go back to Cursor. And the way you set up project level rules is by going to the Cursor settings, again, gear icon. We will go to rules and memories, scroll down. So we've got our user rules and project rules are at the bottom. Just please remember, these are just per project. We click add rule, and what's going to happen, it is going to ask us for a name. I'm going to name this styling and hit enter. It opens a new MDC file, which is markdown file for Cursor. Paste the code from GitHub, which is quite a lot of text here. I haven't written all of this by myself. I have used Cursor to help me out with writing these rules. And that is the first rule saved. And the location of Cursor rules is here. It has created a new folder called Cursor and a subfolder called rules. And that's where all the files are going to be stored. If you have a repository, you might even have your rules already. And what I would normally do, which is obviously way quicker, I would just drag and drop all of them over to the rules subfolder. You have the option to either trigger it always, so meaning whenever you put in a prompt, Cursor is always going to reference that rule, or Cursor will decide, the agent is going to decide whenever to include that rule. You can specify a specific file that you want the rule to only be triggered. So let's say if you are working with a TSX file format, which is the TypeScript file, it is going to be triggered. Again, if you are a beginner, don't get stressed, don't spend too much time here. Just use what is here, and it is going to work very, very well. Okay, just to quickly recap, we had a look at Cursor rules and memories. So we were able to set up 7 memories to help us with this specific project. Again, memories are only for a single project. Then we had a look how to set up user rules. User rules are for all your projects in Cursor. Very useful. And the last thing that we did, we have set up project rules, which are for this specific project, and project rules go much deeper into how the project is structured compared to something like memories. All of these work together very well. And if you set all these up as it has been shown, and you're going to have a much, much nicer experience using Cursor, your frustration level is going to go down. So thanks for watching, and hopefully I'm going to see you in the next episode. Thanks.